because we know how vital it is and how pervasive it is when you see what he has to say when it comes to energy. So thank you very much for being with us.
It's not only energy.
Well, it's the energy of knowledge. Yeah.
Hello, gentlemen and ladies.
You're gonna have to speak up. Mark.
Today is August 17, 2016, and we as a Keshe Foundation family,
Speak a little bit louder, please. Project.
as a Keshe Foundation family, as a speaker of the Keshe Foundation, I want to present Mr. Mehran Tavakkoli Keshe, which is the founder of our foundation, which is all the knowledge explained and taught from him. And today we're going to represent our MAGRAV unit. We had a little bit of problems, but we are trying to fix today or tomorrow.
Douglas will say a few words about what happened.
Yes, that's what his words. But today, not only we're going to, represent MAGRAV unit, the energy, but we can explain the totality, what Keshe Foundation is about, and what we're going to bring to whole humanity to make this together. Mr. Keshe, you can go ahead.
Why don't you put around?
Do you want? Do you have a picture, or you don't have a picture of you, or you just have a voice?
We should be able to get a picture for you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I need Vince, if you can promote that I can use the video.
Okay. So our picture will only appear when somebody in here is speaking, I think.
No,
For him.
they can see us.
Okay, so he can see us.
Yes.
Okay, good.
If you stay. Yeah, I understand, but they're.
You can see the audience now?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you all of you for being there. I can see you waving your hand. I'm waiting for the camera. If you can see our picture, I'm waiting to be promoted that we can share the camera. First of all, thank you very much for being there. I know a lot of you came to see the power generator. Earlier on today, we were at the Office of the Attorneys and running tests, and Douglas, in trying to set the system to achieve power to start the system off, has managed to break the central piece of the pump, and it's a vital piece. We tried to acquire one, and before that, he burned the compressor capacitor, and double failure is impossible to rectify. We got to this point about 4 o'clock this afternoon. So in that process, in testing, starting the system, we passed over Unity very easily. There are some pictures which is sent to us, you can see. But in general, this is irrelevant. This what we call the hybrid system has already surpassed with the solid state system, which we will show in next coming days. This is a problem with a hybrid. You have a mechanical system which can fail, and we've seen it immediately. This system was working perfect for about a month in where Douglas coming from, in transportation, and leaving some pictures, some pieces behind. Excuse me 1 second. Gordon has sent you a picture. Can you check your Zoom and send it with the light? Yeah. So what we had in transportation, or whatever, the capacitor compressor has been damaged when it was set up. I saw it working this morning before it was moved on, and this is a prototype. And in that process, I do apologize. You would have seen the MAGRAV units in work. The gentleman who is walking just now, we can see him. He was present that they start showing the lights coming on. But we have released the blueprint. This was our version. Now we have seen around the world. We've been going on for about 30 minutes before you join us. and we've seen people around the world how to start putting this system together. The whole principle, as I was explaining today, is not that we have produced a system which can give you free energy. I'm a nuclear physicist, and in the process of development of the nuclear technology, I came to realize there is more beyond nuclear. We opened the atom, and then we opened the atom and we saw the nucleus and electrons, but none of us ever understood what's inside these neutrons and protons and electrons. Now we have gone into that level. This is why this technology looks very strange and something which we did not know. When we found the atomic bomb was a very big thing. When we found the power of nuclear, we found it much more powerful. And now we have found the power of the plasma. And this is why it looks so strange. The deeper we go into the depth of the creation, the more powerful structures we find. And this is the beginning. This power generator is a fraction of the work of the foundation, maybe not even 2 or 3% of it. We have used this knowledge in agriculture. We have used now extensively this in health. We are using it in production of the material. For the first time in the past couple of weeks, we have managed to produce metal out of fresh air, understanding the work of the plasma, the way material are created in the universe. These are all done by the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers around the world. The videos are available. Now we have managed in the steps of changing the scene of the agriculture, decontamination of water, and all sorts of things. And we are not theoretical, because now we are actually manufacturing units which are sold in the market, and we have set up a factory now in Arizona which will start producing these systems. So in the view of those who come and say there is a new free energy, it's not a free energy, it's a plasma. In understanding further in how the neutron and proton actually constructed internally, now we are breaking into that level. And beyond this is understanding the what we call the unity. And this is the unity, this is the totality of it. In the coming weeks, we have already sold what is been sold for over a year now. The first factory started setting up over just about a year ago this month in Italy. And in that process, what we call the Magrav units, which shows the creation of the control of the plasma, has been tested. People see reduction in their electricity bill depending on how it's connected to the grid. And now we have added one piece to it. The only thing which we added is that now we have found the plasma needs a heartbeat. The plasma is like blood of the man. You need to, when I was explaining this afternoon to the people in the presentation, when you have a heart attack or when your heart stops, somebody gets on top of you and pushes the heart so many times. They do it for 10, 20 times till they create the rhythm of the plasma of the blood. And that's why you come back to life. Or we use the intensive situation of high voltage and whatever to create that condition. Now that we understand the work of a plasma, the new system which we produce energy with, we looked to find the heartbeat of the plasma. That's all. There is a pump which comes on. It triggers the 60 hertz, 50 hertz, or 110 volts. It builds up itself. The pump builds up to about 1,000 volts. And then this triggers the plasma. Then we withdraw this pump. And this is the part which is broken, and that's caused the problem this afternoon. So now we have found out how the heartbeat is needed to trigger the plasma. We are doing it totally different way than the pump. This was the very original system which was built. This gives a new insight in everything else. Now we understand how the planets have a beat, how the stars have a beat, because they all have a plasma internally, and for them to exist, to switch from magnetical to gravitational, magnetical to gravitational, you need a beating, you need the heartbeat. Now the new systems we developed, which hopefully we might show it tomorrow in the teachings, is that process but in a solid state to create the heartbeat. These are all edge of the science, edge of the knowledge which we have gained. And in a short time, as we have seen, as Arman said, there is more to this technology. We have received permission from different governments for clinical trials, and in the next couple of weeks, we will start trials for cancer with 2 milliliter of the liquid of the plasma, which we produce for 30 days. We are set to show that the cancer can be reversed totally. Any cancer, it's been tested, it's correct. Now we started clinical trial. Application of reversal of all sorts of things in respect to the health. Now we're teaching doctors around the world, and they are building the system themselves, and they are reporting what changes they see. In agriculture, we see from the agriculturists, people actually commercially working in agriculture are testing these materials without actually adding to the food, but using it as a fertilizer like, without any cost, and they see an increase in the harvest. But all this is more or less does not come to 5% of the total technology. This technology is a space technology. And those of you who know about our work, 90% plus of this technology comes in when we start lift without the fuel. A space technology where we travel without weightlessness, because now we have learned both the gravitational and magnetical fields. The next step is to create lift and motion, literally from the top of the roof of the building, anywhere around the world. This is what is there. And then the next step is, now we understand how the internal structure of the plasma works. We understand the position of the, for example, the Earth and the Sun. It depends on their gravitational magnetic field interaction. Now we create gravitational magnetic field inside the system, and this creates a positioning in respect to Earth. The position of the Sun in respect to the Earth is due to the strength balance between the two. Now we understand this, we know how to create gravitational field forces, or if you are a chemist, we know how to make alkaline and acidic very simply by adding literally or creating rotation. Now this has created new understanding. We have lifted before, and in this process, my target is as many people in the world can start creating lift and motion in the next maybe 3, 4, or 5 weeks. The actual process of the technology comes in. Though there are people amongst you in the room that they have started this process, transition of the matter into energy and creation of motion in that process. There are people in the room, they can explain to you, there are videos we can show you where we create the same condition as the internal structure of the Earth, and then in running the system, the internal structure energy moves outside, the outer layer of the core breaks open, and we cannot find the balls which are put inside. Number of people have reported this around the world, where we create energy that it can pass through the structure. This is a huge development, and you can test it yourself. It costs you less than $2 to do it. Maybe with $5 you can test it, you can understand the new energy which is released. It changes a lot of physics we studied. It changes a lot of things in the world of science we've been told. Now we have the knowledge to create the condition of the electron and the proton and see in reality how they interact. All the assumptions are through the wall, through the window now. We have the knowledge to replicate this real physical structure of a molecule in magnetic plasma, because you can create it yourself. This changes. There is a lot of fear. Why my work and my foundation and more or less all the Keshe Foundation teamwork around the world is being kept off the mainline news is because of the fear they have created about it. The fear, more or less, I explained this, is exactly what Edison did to Tesla. putting an elephant on the board and showing that it can kill, so we have to be afraid of it. The problem is a lot of governments, a lot of multinationals know with this technology there is going to be changes, and they have not received the return on their investment. So they have to stop it. But I took a different approach. I went to public. I grew the technology amongst people. These are the housewives who make the material you see on the table as a pin. They can put it in a container, and they can see how their pain, they can use it as a pain releaser, as a pain pen. And we have received CE certification for medical use for these things. So we are falling in within the structure of the testing internationally, but we are changing the course. As I said, in a coming time, I don't see it, maybe maximum 3 to 5 weeks. There is no way any international organization can ban anyone traveling anywhere. You can do it. It costs less than $100. We done it. We were forced to stop with all the things which we received. Now people are doing it. I've chosen the path of freedom for the people, and people that are housewives who make these systems, and they save energy and they can feed their children. In Africa, now we have proven with 2 or 3 spoon drop of water a day, we have seen the eradication of the AIDS. Even the doctors can't find. The doctors go to the house of the people. What are you using that the AIDS in less than 30 days is not there? Because the technology works within the structure. We have taken river waters, and we have shown within 10 seconds any germs in it has been destroyed. There is no germs. So if you understand these things, the next position for us is the space. We start showing the system as Keshe Foundation worldwide that we can lift without fuel. We can find position without fuel. Now that we start losing these balls from the center of the reactors, that nobody can find them anywhere. In one occasion, we have found them in a room which is next door with all the doors closed, because the energy allows it to pass through the wall, and there is no sign of breakage. They create such a strong field around them that they literally go through it. It's just walking through the butter through the knife. There is nothing is left behind that you can see where it came from, where it goes. These are highly, highly applicable in defense. We can target and saturate a ball and literally target any craft in motion and release this ball internally inside it. And if you know how to target it, I know what to do, exactly what to do. I've done it before. And you release the energy inside the craft, any latest model of whatever aircraft you have, it'll be obsolete. You won't even find the pieces of it because the release energy is there. The defense technology of this plasma, as we are introducing it, it'll be detrimental to a lot of nations who invested a lot in defense. Because the latest, whatever you have, worth nothing. This is my message. I've given this message to world leaders. They are fully aware of my work, that all these latest weaponry we see, we can make them obsolete. That's the beauty of the space. Because all we need to do, we need to create a shield from these, the way these balls are going through the walls, they create a shield. You can put whatever you like around it. Put the latest communication line. One little tiny ball which can create a field can literally cut all the internal communication of the latest modern ships in the world with outside. Useless. Russians have shown part of my technology 2 years ago when they stopped the famous American boat. So you can jam, you can block, you can stop a lot of things, and this is where the space technology will come in. We are working with the Chinese for the development of these kind of systems that it can be used, what we call as oasis system. In a time of disaster, a ball can create a shield, is your home. And it's been done. You can create from the same system water. You can produce from the same system materials you need, and you can